This is Stan Exchange. I'm here with another video YouTube. On this video I want to go more in depth into supply. I want to talk more about supply so that if anyone is still having some problems about supply, this will provide more clarifications. So I hope you get more value from these videos. So before I start this video, I just want to say that this content is strictly for educational purposes. So you could first try on your demo account before trying or trading your capital. Now, you could remember what I said on my previous video. On my previous video, I said that supply is aggressive selling. Supply is aggressive selling. So since supply is aggressive selling in a downtrend, okay, so since supply is aggressive selling, so that means this is my supply. This is the last up close candle before the drop. This is the last up close candle before the drop. So this is supply zone. This is a supply zone. Okay, the last up close candle before the drop in a downtrend. Don't take setup. Don't take supply setup in an uptrend. Take supply setups in a downtrend. In a clear downtrend. Okay, this is a clear downtrend because it's breaking structures to the downside. It's breaking structures to the downside. The market is breaking structures to the downside. It's breaking structures to the downside. So that makes it a downtrend. Once they break structure, the market usually comes to retest, then drops. So this is a break of structure. This is a break of structure. Once the market breaks structure, this is a structure. This is a structure. It's a support. So this broke this. So this broke this. So this is a structure. This is a break of structure and came to retest back to drop again. So this is a clear downtrend. This is another break of structure. This is another break of structure. This is another break of structure because the price broke here, then came down to retest, though it didn't get up to this place, but it came down to retest, then dropped again. Okay, so that is break of structure. That is break of structure, then dropped. Okay, so that is how it works. Okay, so now this is supply. This is supply because I've seen that we are breaking structures to the downside. We are breaking structures to the downside. So this is a downtrend and we are making lower highs and lower lows, lower highs and lower lows, lower highs and lower lows, lower high, lower lows, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. You can see we are in a downtrend. Okay, because we are making lower lows, lower highs and lower lows, because we are making lower highs and lower lows. Okay, so this is a lower high because this low is lower than this one. Okay, so we are making lows. So if we are making lows and lows, if we are making lower highs and we're making lower lows, okay, that is when you know that we are in a downtrend. So we should be looking for supply setups. Okay, I'm just going to change this to black just to make it more colorful for you to understand. Okay, so if we are in a downtrend, if we are making lower lows, if we're making lower lows, If we're making lower highs and lower lows, that means we are in a downtrend. If the market is breaking structures to the downside, that means we are in a downtrend. Okay, then you should be looking for structures. You should be looking for structures. You should be marking your resistance below the candles for the market to come back and drop. I'm going to show you an illustration of that. So since the market is making lower highs and lower lows, and this is a confirmation of a downtrend, because we are making lows, lower highs, lows, 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 lows. We're not going up, we're dropping. We are dropping and breaking structures. We are breaking structures. We are breaking supply. We are breaking support. We are breaking support. We are breaking support. We are breaking support. We are breaking support to the downside. So we are in a downtrend. You could see you are in a downtrend. If you were to use a trend line to connect that, you could see we are in a downtrend. It's a clear downtrend. Okay, so that is the origin of a trend line is the lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, and lower lows. The lower highs and lower lows, and the lower highs, the lower highs and the lower lows, then the higher highs and the higher lows. Okay, for an uptrend. Okay, since we are in a downtrend, this is lower highs and lower lows. Okay, you could see the illustration here. So we are in a downtrend. Now since we are in a downtrend, we should be looking for supplies. Okay, so I've marked up my supply and I've marked up my resistance. I've marked my resistance because the price might come to this resistance and drop, or come to the supply and then drop. Remember what I said? The last up candle before the drop. The last up candle before the drop. With my resistance. With my structure. My resistance, because the market could come here and then drop, or come here and then drop. Okay, so I have two things waiting for me. So I'm waiting for price to come back up. So price is still making lower highs and lower lows. Price is still making lower highs and lower lows. Okay, so we are still in a downtrend. We are still in a downtrend. We're still in a downtrend. Remember, we are still getting what? Yeah, we're still getting supply settle. The last up candle before the drop. We are still getting a downtrend. This is the last up candle before the drop. Yeah, you could take this one too. It's also supply. You could get all of them since it's shorter. So this is supply. Cover the whole candle. The whole candle before that drop. Cover the whole candle before that drop. Okay, remember, we have to mark our structure below. The structure on a downtrend, you mark the swing lows. You mark the swing lows. Remember here, I marked the supply, then I marked the swing low, the structure below it. The structure below it. So I marked my supply and I marked the structure below it. For the price to come back and then drop, or to come back here and then drop. Okay, so this is a resistance before my supply. This is a resistance before my supply. We mark the resistance by the wicks. You understand? So I'm waiting for price to come back here and either reject from here or reject from here. Okay, so since that is a supply, that is an aggressive move. We're still making a lower high and a lower low. So clearly we're still in a downtrend. The market is still dropping. we're still in a downtrend. We're still making lower highs and lower lows. You can see now we have another supply. The last up candle before the drop. The last up candle before the drop. Then we mark another structure. We don't have any specific structure here, so I'm just going to mark this high. Okay, I could mark this one just to wait for here. I could mark this one and just wait and just see what happens. Okay, the price closed above this resistance, then I'm gonna delete it because it's now invalid because the price closed above it. So once price closes above it, you delete it. Once price closes below above it, you delete it. Okay, now the price has dipped into my supply. The price has dipped into my supply, so I should be hoping to sell. It drops, dipped back into my supply, and then it drops. Dipped into my supply, then it drops. Okay, so that is supply. That is supply. That is supply. Now our supply has been made invalid. Why? Because this candle broke that supply. Because this candle here broke this supply. This candle broke this supply. Once your supply has been broken with a wick, you have to delete it because the supply is no longer valid. Okay, once the wick goes through your supply zone, you have to delete it because the supply is no longer valid. They're not going to use that supply anymore. Okay, so once your supply has been broken with a wick, you have to remove it because the supply is no longer valid. So since the supply is no longer valid, you can use it as a resistance. You could try it out. Since our supply has been disrespected by this wick, we have to do this, adjust it to use it as a resistance and wait for price to close below it, then to take a drop, then to take a sell. Okay, so since our supply has been disrespected by this move, we have to take a sell. We have to take the break of a candle. We have to take the break of a candle. Okay, remember we are in a downtrend. We are in a downtrend. We are in a clear downtrend. So we are looking for drops. We are looking for sellings. We are looking for selling. So for example, if the market came into this place and then disrespected this place with a wick here, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to move my supply up into this place and then use it as a resistance because it has been disrespected by this move. It has been disrespected by this move. Okay, so once your supply has been disrespected, you have to delete it and then use it as a resistance. Okay, once your supply has been disrespected, use it as a resistance. So once your supply has been disrespected, use it as a resistance. You could try it out. It's been disrespected, then I have to use it as a resistance and then wait for the break of the candles below. Okay, so that is it. So our supply here, the last up candle before the drop, the first and then dropped first. So there are stop losses above this place, so they grabbed liquidity. This is a liquidity grab. This is a liquidity grab candle. So each time you see this type of setup, I love to take this type of setups. Each time you see this type of setup that is higher than all the candles, it's a liquidity grab. And once they grab liquidity, they are moving. Okay, once they grab liquidity, once the money is in their hands, they are leaving the zone, they are leaving the area. So remember, our supply has been disrespected, so I have to use it as a resistance. Okay, then I have to take the break of lows. The break of lows, I'm going to use the break of this green candle. Then my stop loss is going to be above the wick, above the liquidity grab wick, and I'm going to take it my 1-to-1 risk to reward. So that is what I'm going to wait for. You understand? This is the first hit on the supply. They fueled their clients in here first time and then dropped. They came the second time and then grabbed liquidity. They came the second time and then grabbed liquidity. So we have to move our supply to make it a resistance. Okay, so now we are waiting to take the break of a candle. The break of a candle, we are in. Boom, boom. So remember, they will be printing more supplies. Once it's trending, you constantly see supplies. Once it's trending, you constantly see supplies. Once it's trending, you constantly see supplies. And the first and second pullbacks are usually the strongest. The first and second pullback for a correction of trend are usually the strongest. You could see this is the first pullback, then it's dropped. This is the second pullback, then it drops harder. Okay, so the first and second pullbacks are usually the strongest. Okay, so it drops on a supply. Remember, we took this supply, we took this break. This is no longer a supply setup, this is a resistance or a liquidity grab setup. This is a liquidity grab setup. Liquidity grab setup are usually, the risks to reward are usually big. Okay, because they have the money in their hands. Okay, so we have another supply setup. We have another supply setup. Remember, once it's trending, you constantly see supplies. So it's trending, still making lower highs and lower lows. Remember, we're still making lower highs and lower lows. We're still making lower highs. We're still making lower lows and lower highs. Okay, now we have another supply. We have another supply. Yeah, we do have another supply. Now we have another supply. The last up candle before the drop. The last up candle before the drop. So this is the drop. This is the aggressive sell. This is the aggressive sell. This is the last up candle. This is the aggressive sell. So we are waiting for price to come back and for them to fill in their clients and then drop again. Okay, so we are waiting for the price to come back up, then fill in their clients and then drop. You could see, came back, fill in the clients and then drop again. Okay, so that is what happens. Came back, fill in the clients and then drop. This is a high probability supply. I'm going to teach you about high probability supply on the part 3 of this the supply setups. Okay, this is a high probability supply because it left a gap in the market. So this is a high probability supply because it dropped without going back into it. This, you could see this candle, it just dropped. It just dropped without going in. Okay, if this candle wicked into here, then it makes it a low probability demand, a low probability supply. Okay, so but it dropped without coming back in, so it's a high probability supply. Okay, so once it digs back in, it usually drops faster. Okay, so they've disrespected this supply again. They've disrespected this supply. Then this is what you do. Remember what I told you? Once the supply zone has been disrespected, it becomes a resistance. The supply has been disrespected by this move. The supply has been disrespected by this move. Now we have a resistance instead of a supply. We have a resistance instead of a supply. So we are going to take the break of a low. We are going to take the break of a candle. Okay, we're going to take the break of a candle, because our stop loss will be above the liquidity grab candle. Then we have our 1-to-1. Okay, so that is it. We're in, then it drops. Okay, so giving us, because it's trending, it's giving us another supply setup. It's giving us another supply setup because it's trending. It's constantly printing supplies. It's constantly printing supplies. That is what happens. That is what happens. That is what happens. The trading day is over. The trading day is over. So that is what happens. That is supply. The last up candle before the drop. The last up candle before the drop. That is what happens. The last up candle before the drop. The last up candle before the drop. This is supply. This is supply, though it's a low probability supply, but this is supply. Okay, I'm gonna talk more about you can see they grab liquidity and then drop. They grab liquidity. This is a liquidity grab candle, and then it dropped, just like the previous one you had here. The liquidity grab, then drop. The liquidity grab, and then drop heavier. You understand? So once you see this candle, it's a liquidity grab setup. So I'm going to teach you more about liquidity grabs. Okay, so once it came by, we should have taken this sell here, or the break of this candle, either the break of this candle or the break of this candle. Once they have the money in their hands, they are dropping heavily. You can see they've given us another supply. They've given us another supply. This is supply. The last up candle before the drop. The last up candle before the drop, that is a supply. The last up candle before the drop is trending heavily, so they are printing supplies. They are constantly printing supplies. You could see, because we are in a downtrend, because it's trending, they are constantly printing supplies. They are constantly printing supply. So keep reading, keep practicing. You're going to get better. Okay, they are constantly printing supplies. Okay, you have to be patient, because sometimes they disrespect. Most times when you have supply above a supply, they usually disrespect the first one, then take the second one. So you have to be patient. Or if you have a supply above a supply, if you have two supplies, you have to mark them up and then wait for the price to come back, show you some sign of dropping before you take the setup. Because for the most part, once you have a supply and a supply and a supply, they usually disrespect the first one, then take the second one. Okay, so remember, read and read and read. This is supply, this is supply, this is supply. We took this resistance because we had a liquidity grab set up here. Okay, so you have to be patient and allow price to show you what it wants to do. Okay, you have to allow price to show you what it wants to do. You have to be patient. You have to be patient. Okay, I'm going to make another video about, I'm also going to make a video about the candlesticks that I wait for confirmation before I take some setup. Okay, so remember, this is supply setup and supply is aggressive selling. Okay, supply is aggressive selling. So guys, this we are coming to the end of this video. Okay, so you could subscribe. I want you to subscribe to my channel. I'm going to post more educative content so that we could all roll and make some profits from this market. You understand? So trading supply and demand is pretty good and pretty profitable. So please like my video and please share too. You understand? I'm still gonna post more videos, more nice videos for you guys. So I'm also learning, and I want to also learn from you guys, and you guys will also learn from me too. You understand? So that is how I want it to be. Okay, so I hope you guys got some value from this video. So see you guys on another video.